week,
Let's get
you guys ventured.
Let's get it started.
There we go.
It's just dancing.
I had to do with this one.
Last week, you guys ventured through the gates of Foxtrot.
No D20 for you then.
Just my inner Theo.
Heading into the northern half of Druskin, after acquiring cold weather gear and completing your stay, you begin your venture. Not entirely sure where you're going, but hopefully straight is the answer.
Turn phones on silent or vibrate.
Always on vibrate.
Slowly, as you continue making progress, the temperature began to drop, and the sort of chillness of the area eventually started to set in. After a day of travel, you guys settle down to make camp in an area that you thought to be sufficient. When during the night,
During first watch.
yes, I believe Drex.
Drex and
Kai.
Kai.
Yep.
Thank you.
Drex, you were being from this area, kind of more attuned and accustomed to some of these sounds, and quickly put together that something was not right. Knowing this, you woke your other party members just in time to spot a large frost giant and his pet mammoth.
Thanks, by the way. Appreciate that, giant.
Fuck you. After a combat full of summons, ranging anywhere from a large, hideous troll to a tiny, shaking chihuahua.
Bob Barker! May he rest in peace.
He was angry.
May he forever reign.
He was tiny but mighty,
Well, so we thought.
even though he never hit anything.
He tried.
With
He
advantage
was fearless.
on every attack.
Yo quiero.
He was fearless. Let's give him that.
So, after the combats, you guys finished your long rest, and as we venture into the next morning, that is where we begin tonight.
So we're picking up that morning. Okay. Are you still up the tree?
Depends on what part of the morning we're at. Either up the tree or taking care of the horses.
Does it seem like to any of you that we've passed through the mountains?
No.
No. We definitely haven't gotten to that yet. No.
Because it seems to be getting flatter and wider out here.
Yeah, we're definitely heading in the right direction.
I mean, I've never been up here, so I don't know. So.
I've never been this far north. I'm just taking lead from him. If he says we're good, we're.
It's getting colder. We're the right way.
I assume we're good. It's getting colder, so you
I could really use a good
assume.
swim right about now.
You see all this stuff?
Yes, but you live
We're the right
top
way.
full of
We're
snow over the
we're
fire.
the right way. You're good.
I said to swim, not a bath.
Do I get it? I don't trust you.
That's not gonna work. It's not big enough.
That's okay.
It's not salty enough.
But 17.
17?
Salt.
You have
I'm
never
not gonna let you turn me into a
ventured
stew.
this way in and out
Oh.
of
I'm just.
of
You're feeding us
This-
full of
this
I
shit.
have no idea for sure.
the gate through Foxtrot, because your clan and yourself, your people are indigenous to the mountains. You guys took the man's way.
Straight through the mountains.
up and over the mountains.
Who needs paths?
Yes,
We Skyrim'd
up and
it.
down the mountains, and then through the forests. With the primary place of trade, if you remember, was Cragden, which is that little right up in here.
Yeah.
That was your main place of trade, and so most of your travels would go through the mountains, over it, into the Dwarven City. So this side of Foxtrough, and the way you're currently navigating
I'm just guessing.
through roads and gates,
Just guessing right now.
Feeding us
You-
Perfect.
full
you-
of shit.
know that you are from here. You have never been this way specifically.
We're good.
Slowly starting to lose confidence in them. We're good.
No, I've just
Maybe
never
we
been
can
this direction.
contact
This way.
Estoyo and he can come find us. I mean, he is with a group of wolves.
That's only if he's not.
We're heading the right way. No.
So it's like somebody from Iowa who has never been there trying to find the little town of Mystic.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Yep. I have not a clue where that place is at.
The amount of times I got turned around.
Yes. So this is where you are.
Okay.
We keep heading north-ish.
Sure.
We should be fine. We should be good.
That was your last known direction of travel, was going north. That was where you were going before
This
you
way.
set up camp. Sounds like that's where you're going after getting up the next day.
We've gone this way, but everything seems right.
Parental figures are currently talking about directions.
North, definitely north.
You're
Keep
the
heading
dad
north.
who refuses to ask for directions. You're the dad who wants to ask for a map.
Pretty much, yes. North. Just gotta go north. All right.
As you guys finish packing up your camps and loading up the carts and the
Do
wagon, getting the horses ready.
Do we know where we were supposed to meet, Estoyo?
No, he didn't give us a little. Like he just said he'd find it, and
He.
we don't even know. Well, he said he's found a promising lead, but he didn't say that he found it.
Fantastic.
What are we doing up here?
I'm going home.
Trying to get the marks removed.
Trying.
He's gonna take like 10 steps away from the group and away from Drex shaking his head. He's gonna be like,
North.
Stoyo, you better have fucking directions.
North.
And he's going to cast Sending on Estoyo and going, this is Nox. We're in the mountains.
Ish.
Well, for the most part in the mountains. We seem to have come to a disagreement on which direction we're supposed to be heading. If you have a set location or any sense of direction, please respond back. If not, feel free to just laugh at my plight.
It's way more than 20 words, but that's okay. So after a few moments, hear a response back. Ah, finally. I was getting worried that you said you would contact me when you were ready. I've been waiting. You're in the mountains already?
Oh. He's expecting a response.
Yep. And he's gonna we still on the 3rd level and go, not quite, that's the problem.
He's gonna keep heading north. I'm telling you. It'd be great if we could hear the conversation in the background.
And he's gonna pause and be like, fuck it, we're just gonna continue to go north.
Well, I do not know where you are at, but if you think that is best, then by all means. Hopefully we meet up with one another.
Eventually. I just need to get to a spot where I'm more familiar.
I feel like we're trying to build a bridge from two different sides of a ravine, and we're just going to end up like passing each other.
Right?
Well, I feel like we're trying to find a needle in a haystack.
I think that
In
would
the
be,
mountains,
I think
trying
it would
to
be
find someone.
easier at this point.
We're not trying to find a needle in a haystack. We're trying to, because
You
all
were
you have to do
supposed
that
to
is
get a hold of him before you got here. That was the plan.
Oh,
Yeah, no, the plan was promptly forgotten.
I see that. But
Kai was trying to tell y'all.
it's all part of the game.
Yeah, but Kai was also in the midst of pouting, so
Are you relaying this to the rest of us?
no.
head north.
He's just shaking his head.
Call it nodding if you want.
That's what he is calling it.
North it is. I just need to get
You,
two more.
you said go north, so we're going north.
Okay.
Let me start trekking over some mountains and I'll get
Percy, as you
That's
get the horses ready to travel, kind of just sitting and waiting as Drex approaches, gives you the go-ahead that
north.
go north.
Percy, as it gets colder up here, are the horses going to be okay with this?
Probably not. I don't know.
I mean, at some point, it might get too cold for them.
Not sure. Horses are pretty hardy animals. Depends on how cold it gets.
I'm not sure I like this idea of just randomly going north.
I'm looking for familiarity, you know, that I can get you wherever you need to go.
Could be anywhere.
Yeah, good. Look, we didn't follow any set paths. We just kind of walked over the mountain.
And to be honest,
We worked out.
looks around. Doesn't seem very mountainous.
Right?
One more at the base.
I mean, it seems like we're kind of in a valley that has opened up out into kind of a large plain. It's snow covered, right? Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like
Not
deep,
heavy.
it's not deep snow at all, but it is like covering the grass. But it's like you kick it aside, you can see the dirt after like not even an inch.
Still at the base, yeah.
And we saw mountains at the city. I mean, Foxtrot is at the mountains, right? Okay.
Yeah, the gate that you went through was like built in between kind of where there was an opening where they like dipped down into the side. That was where the gate was built.
My suggestion is if we go back to the gate and have him meet us there.
I don't care.
That way it's a known landmark for both of us.
Yeah, I don't care.
If he came through there, though. Do you foresee Estoyo taking all the wolves through town?
Well, but
I'm sure that Estoyo has methods of dealing with that sort of problem.
this is true.
I don't care.
This may be an easier task.
I mean,
I don't care.
I don't see him having difficulty of maneuvering his way through towns.
We have only traveled a day through the gate. Maybe we just stay here. Because if we travel back to the gate and meet him, and then we're coming this way anyway. I mean, maybe we need to travel back to the gate, but maybe we don't.
Just tell him that we're.
But I don't see much point in going further, because we did come to that fork in the road, and we went middle.
We went north.
I
We're
mean,
supposed to go right or left. We're screwed.
We don't seem
Maybe
to
we
know.
go back to the fork in the road and meet him there.
We don't seem to know where we're going. Is my concern. And just randomly wandering around out in the tundra just seems like a bad idea. I mean, at some point we're going to run out of food and water, especially water, and I like water.
We know, Theo, we know.
I mean, we can melt snow, but
Man, I don't care. That's what you guys want to do. I really don't care. I only have one 3rd level spell slot left, so we have to make it count. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to take another long rest before I can get it back.
I vote for that.
it's,
Either stay here, go back to the gate, or go to. I'd say go back to the fork in the road.
So, I just need to know what I'm telling him. Are we staying here, or are we backtracking?
What if we weren't even supposed to go to the gate? What if there's another pass?
let's just go to a landmark. The fork in the road seems to be the closest landmark.
Yeah.
Just something that we can say, hey, we are here, meet us here, and then we can go to where we need to go.
From there.
Fine with me. Let's chill.
I mean,
Seems like it might work out
unless we want to wander out here in the frozen deserts for the next 30 years.
You doing a level grind?
You guys would end up doing
Fight
100.
boars in the woods till you're level 20.
I don't think I have 30 years to wander out here in the tundra.
Level grind?
there. Isn't it like fighting a bunch of little...
I might not have 30 days to wander around out here in the tundra.
Till you hit level like 10.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
currently playing Soul Silver and I'm level grinding to be Claire.
Yeah, if that's what you guys want to do,
More soul.
then I will
Getting chopped.
sacrifice my last 3rd level spell slot and tell him
I can
where to meet
swear
us.
Oh, you're in the...
Fork in the road,
Sorry.
right?
Yeah.
I was
Confirmation?
I'm
Yeah.
over there.
Quick question.
Answer.
This is mechanically. Do you have just sending, or do you have? Oh, message has to be within so many feet,
Yep.
doesn't
Yeah,
it?
message has to be-
I was gonna say, could you use message, which would be a lower level spell, since you don't need a response. You just need to tell him we're going to be here,
Yeah.
but he's not close enough for message.
There
It's
we
within
go.
100 yards or 100 feet, and then you have to be able to see them.
I probably don't have it ready.
So that, whatever that, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you say? You cast the spell.
So, just real quick confirmation. Fork in the road is where we're gonna meet him.
Fork in the road, north of
gate
Fox.
North gate of Foxtrot, fork in the road.
Yeah.
North of the North Gate.
Follow road to fork. Leave North Gate, follow it to the fork. We're there.
Okay. That.
We will camp until he gets there.
That. That's what I'll say.
Okay. Cast your spell.
Yeah.
Oh. I see. You are farther than expected. I can meet you there in 4 or 5 days.
Oh, Jesus.
That,
Long waiting.
yeah, Nox is gonna look back and go, well, what do you want to do for the next 4 to 5 days?
Go back to town.
I'd rather not set foot back in that town right now.
It's good. I feel like if we go back into the town, they're going to be expecting something.
Something I don't feel comfortable giving.
I'd like to give him something.
I'm going to give my gift of quarterstaff to the head.
That would cause significantly more problems, let's not.
This is true. A lot of problems. We don't want those.
As if we aren't in deep enough shit getting dragged in there by our ears anyway.
And I'm doing our best to try and get us out of that.
Yeah. Have we seen any traffic out here besides us?
A giant and a mammoth.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. So. I'm cool with just camping out for 4 or 5 days until he gets here. That's. I mean, if you guys don't want to go back to town.
I can go back to town, I do not care.
Drax, how far is it from here to your home?
He traveled over the mountains.
I don't use roads.
That was our previous discussion.
Well, no, I'm just doing it.
He wasn't there for that conversation.
Yeah,
He
not
wasn't
just
paying
not just
attention.
relaying that information.
Yeah.
They didn't take roads.
We went over the mountains. We don't use.
Well, I don't think Daisy and Benny can go over the mountains. I just thought maybe if we had 4 or 5 days, we could go to your home if it wasn't too far, and still be back here in
Knowing what I
time to
know
meet
about-
Estoyo.
Knowing what I know about my clan, would I be able to, judging by the time or the time of year it is, would I have an idea of where they might be?
Based on that map, it would probably be a week or 2.
Probably.
From where
I assume so. As the
are-
as Troy,
Yeah.
Percy wouldn't know that.
Right.
you in character don't know where you're at right now. So you have no idea. Like, generally, if you knew which way was north, you would know a direction to travel that maybe would eventually take you there. But as far as location from where you're at to where you would need to go, you don't have enough information at the moment to begin even calculating.
I got nothing for you. It could be weeks, months. Could be just a couple days. I have no idea.
I mean, we're probably good for camping out at the.
So that's not a choice then.
at
We
the-
have
for-
mammoth
for a
meat
few
anyway.
days.
Yeah, we're gonna.
We have mammoth meat in the mammoth first. So
we do.
I harvested it last time.
I don't care.
I think we still
We can
have
camp
some
here.
milk,
We
don't
can
we?
go find someone else can go back to the town.
The elk
supplies
probably
if
has already been
necessary.
eaten or has gone bad.
This is true. It has been well.
I mean, we're only a day out of town.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do about water though?
I can create water. That's not a problem.
I just didn't know if it was drinkable. I really don't want to drink the water after you do what you do in the water.
You don't want me to create water?
Doesn't want you to create shower.
Yeah.
When in doubt, those of us who have no qualms going back into town can go back into town for supplies if we have to.
The fork in the road is roughly about a half day away, and then the gate is the full day's travel.
So we can spend a day if we need to get supplies. We can.
Works for me.
Okay.
Right. Let's just not be on the road.
Seems like there would have been better ways to spend our time. So you're not here in the middle of nowhere.
Got to get a bit ahead of ourselves here, Percy.
I see that.
We just, we wanted to get out of town a little bit faster than I think our brains were thinking. Does that make sense?
Yup.
Okay. A little bit of Percy speech there.
A little bit of Percy's speech. I love it.
Sometimes you gotta speak like get him to understand.
So, yeah. I guess we're going back to the crossroads.
Do a loop-de-loop with the horses and head back that way.
Okay. So it'll take roughly about half the day to get back there. As you guys are traveling on the road, Percy, and if anyone else is up front, have you guys give me perception checks. And then is there anything anybody else would like to do during the travel time? Anything to say, discuss?
Probably
silence.
curiosity, ask him about his clan. Whatever you feel like you want to disclose.
Whatever
17.
questions you got, I guess.
Just kind of like asking about, are you a patriarchal or matriarchal society, or just random questions like that. Do you have a lead woman, lead man, or just how your entire society's kind of set up?
No, my father is the chieftain of the clan.
Alright.
Yeah.
Guy's meditating, trying to control
We are
her
a very warrior-heavy clan.
rage and
A lot of
anger. And
fighters, a lot of barbarians, such like that.
the
I am-
frustration she's feeling.
Probably the only one in my clan not of the warrior styles.
That caused tension?
I didn't find out until I started traveling.
Oh. So they don't know.
No, not yet.
Is that going to pose a potential tension?
Yeah. Possibly. Depends on how my father takes it, I suppose.
Oh.
I may need to really think about what kind of spells I'm taking right now. We don't seem to be
Bonfire.
running into too many bodies of water up here.
Excuse me as I jot that information
Not yet.
down in a notebook for future worry.
I heard most of that. If you said anything like your very last sentence, I didn't catch that.
It was basically just about the fact that my recent becoming of a warlock
Yeah. Okay.
and my father not knowing
Yeah.
and how he would take it.
Heard all that.
Yeah. And really, the clan, it's gonna, how the clan takes it's going to be pretty much judged on how my father takes it.
Water walking, water breathing are probably not that useful up here.
Well, technically, it is water.
Yeah, but it's solid.
It can be melted.
I also need to start thinking about spells to use up here. Well, as somebody who has disappointed their parental figure, let's just hope he takes it better than minded.
I don't know so much. Excuse me.
Drex, what did you eat? Oh my god.
Sorry.
Those must have been the berries, man.
Maybe I should have cooked that mammoth while
Well, just don't hurl on me.
I assume every so often Theo's right up front. Like, brings up a topic and Percy kind of starts slipping into like talking with him, like normal, like chattering, and then all of a sudden, like Percy remembers that, oh yeah, he's still pissed off. So it's like he talks for like 15-20 minutes and he's like, oh yeah. And then kind of starts sulking again and pouting.
I'm just kind of randomly going into tangents. Just like,
it sucks you in for a little while and you're like, wait a minute.
fuck are we doing up here?
Yeah. I think there was one more question I wanted to ask you, but I can't remember it.
Maybe we should plan better.
Well, we tried. Sort of. If you remember it.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit here trying to remember. Because it was a good question, too. I just, for the life of me, I can't remember what it was.
Drex is a pretty open book.
Oh, Percy has lots of questions, but he's not part of this conversation, so.
I mean, he can be. But
It's true, you guys do have the slider.
I think part of it's the wanting to be a part of it right now.
It's not like the wagon's big enough that we can't hear the conversations in the back.
Well, sure.
did you mention you have siblings, or am I misremembering? You were the one with the no siblings, right?
I don't think I did. No, I don't have any.
Okay.
I'm an only child.
Okay, I thought so, but that was for my own clarification.
Technically.
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 I mean, technically the whole clan is related in a way. In a
Hey,
sense, we're all related.
At least we can't run into a kraken up here.
What's that crap?
Snow Kraken!
Tip me.
In Pathfinder, in the deserts, a sand kraken is a thing.
It's a big
She got
octopus. Like, bigger than a ship.
Good thing we didn't run into one of those when we were on a ship then.
Right?
You were hoping.
I'm not saying that it wasn't on that table that you had a 10% chance of rolling and roll. Yeah, remember when you guys had the siren encounter? That was on the list of encounters if you hit the special chart, which you only have a 10% chance of hitting.
And we hit it.
You did. And there were a lot of bad things on that chart. So, you're
Siren.
lucky.
Is
you
a dragon
rolled the
turtle
siren.
on that chart?
Maybe.
That's terrifying.
So the siren was probably one of the lesser.
There were
things
there
to
were
run into.
like 3 things on there that were dealable, like manageable for lower levels. And then there were more things on there that were not. Some things, they weren't combat encounters at all. Some things were just encounters. There were high level encounters and low level encounters.
So there's possible TPKs. Nice.
Yes.
We have the sirens. Interesting.
So, as you guys continue progressing, the half day goes by. Some of you guys make idle chatter with one another, occasionally slipping into moments of silence.
Or some are just functionally mute.
Eventually, you arrive kind of at this fort where it splits to be right to the left, and then you're coming back down to the middle. So, from your point of view on this side, the roads are converging, and now there's just the one path that, if you keep on it, takes you back to the gate. You guys were kind of wanting to camp around here, where we're at.
Is there any tree cover at all?
A little bit, not quite as like dense as it was where you had come from. They are kind of more well spaced apart with much larger fields of vision here, but they do still have them around.
You know, if we can find something that gives us like some protection from wind or weather or something.
Like one off in the distance a little bit that you can still kind of see the intersection, but you're probably like 60 feet away or so off the road.
Feels safe enough off the road.
Yeah. Nice, Judgment. Thoughts?
Where?
I wish I could change out cantrips a little bit easier.
Young level ups.
Yeah, which I think is ridiculous for classes that have the ability to basically change their spells on the fly. Cantrips
Yeah.
should be included in that.
Well, to me,
Druids
it
are
makes
just
less.
as clerics.
Can wizards change their cantrips?
Wizards can't change their cantrips except for on level ups.
See, and to me, they're basically getting their spells from a spell book. Why couldn't they decide which cantrips they're studying?
Well, and the 4 classes that get spells that change every day, why can't they change their cantrips when they pray?
They're fixed.
Right, well.
It's the problem I've been running into with Cathra.
I mean, because I could take
That's what I have
Create
in spells,
Bonfire
too.
as a cantrip.
Yeah, I chose the one cantrip, or the one class that can't do any of that.
So we essentially have 4 or 5 days of downtime here that you guys can spend doing whatever you want to do over the next few days.
So that would bring us into the 23rd, 24th of Leviar.
Somewhere
Didn't I
around there.
have that snake? Didn't I have that snake? That we got, the fucking big ass snake that we got in the forest?
No, we sold that
Did
to
we
the
sold-
potion.
sold-
Yeah, you gave
Didn't you keep some on it?
yeah, you
for
gave
Baldwin?
most of it to
Yeah.
the potion lady, but you kept
The skeleton.
Yeah, I wanted the
kept the
skeletal.
bones,
Yeah. I can use this time to make my skeleton whip.
Are we
No,
doing
don't whip.
effectively downtime?
Yeah, you have 4 or 5 downtime days where I'll roll
I think I'm gonna need
any
Percy's help.
encounters.
Okay, I'm gonna spend the time to work on the shield master feat type thing. Just work on shield work and shit. Stuff like that.
Yeah, 'cause you can earn feats through downtime days, that's right.
Yes, you can, should the DM choose to reward it.
Percy, I
Yeah.
need your help.
Okay, with what?
Making this bone whip.
I can try, but it's a little bit out of my realm. I'm not much with weapons and armor. I'm more like handyman type stuff.
I figured if anybody's got a good chance to help me, probably be you.
Okay.
Is there any like little saplings or anything nearby?
I mean, like I said, there's a few trees around, but they're pretty well spaced apart. Probably every like 40 or 60 feet or so. Now, a lot of this place, as you get closer to the town, there's less trees and just more open space. So on night 1, there are, or on day 1, night 1, whatever, there are no encounters. So, does anybody want to do anything through the day? Anything specific?
Aside from Big Top Dome, let Breanna know. Just working on that.
Kai's gonna approach Theo. You seem just as pissed off about not being able to help that guy, but then getting dragged into this mess.
Yeah.
How close is this conversation happening? Like, is it at camp?
I mean, probably off to the side of camp.
Theo is probably spending time like studying plants and animals around the camp, so he may be a little bit, probably out to 100, 200 yards from the camp at times.
I'll probably grab you when you're closer than that.
Staying within sight of camp.
Just like on the outskirts?
Yeah, but
Okay.
during our normal waking hours, he's probably out exploring and just trying to learn, because it's an area he has never been in this type of environment, so it's totally new to him. I mean,
Yeah.
having grown up on the coast, he's probably rarely seen snow even. So
She'll probably approach you sitting in one of the trees about 40, 60 feet away.
So, interesting point on that. On the occasional voyage, any ship rides that would take you like up northern towards kind of like the upper side, like up here, you would occasionally kind of see the cold and see the snow, but on a very
Seal probably would have avoided most of those types of trips because he wouldn't have wanted to get too close to home.
That's true. Yeah. So then, yeah, no, this would be basically.
He would have stayed around Stanton and south.
Okay.
I mean, maybe going up a little bit north, but not.
Nothing that would be like a full voyage.
Right.
Maybe just fishing boats or something.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
You do that.
first. So, do you know anything about this? About, like, I wanted to help the guy in the bar, but I also realized that, like, we were probably outpowered by those things.
I don't believe so. I don't think that we were outmatched. I certainly don't like being in cahoots with Mr. Asshole.
I don't like any of this
Uh,
sneaking around, shadow dealing crap.
and we should not be giving him any of the divinity.
Definitely not.
I feel like we should be heroes. We should be helpful when we can.
I mean, I wanted to help, but seeing how fast Drax went down, I didn't wanna.
We have healing abilities. We could have gotten him back up. I think we could have taken him. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't feel like we were outmatched. I feel like we backed down far too easily.
Well, and then
Granted, we didn't know the guy's situation, and we may have been stepping into a place where we probably didn't need to be, but the guy needed help. And we just
Yeah.
let him go.
yeah, I don't know. This entire situation, though, too, like getting dragged in there to meet this guy, is different than when we went and met with Sorsha because we looked for her. We had questions for her. But this guy, we just kind of got, you're coming with us. You don't really get a choice. You're going to do what I want. You don't really get a choice.
We basically let him have the upper hand on us. And getting that back is going to be far more difficult. I mean, granted, we haven't really known each other for long, only a couple of months.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I grew up crewing ships. Ships' crews are families.
Mhm.
When one is in trouble, the rest come to help.
You've met my family.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
Well, minus one, but they've kind of written him off. They think he's dead. And I mean, you've seen how my sister and I act. Our parents, they're not very head out into the world and do good deeds kind of people, but they do good deeds at home. I mean, I want to help this guy. I want to.
We have come a long way from when we backed down from Astoria.
Yeah.
And we were outmatched then.
Heck, we were even outmatched when we were matched the second time.
Only just. We gave him a run for his money.
It's true.
I mean, I remember that first encounter with Astoria. I mean, Percy wanted to beat the shit out of him.
I did too. Are you kidding?
But we've come a long way since then.
Yeah. It's just. It's frustrating to always have to dive into something with not all the information that we need. Granted, I know that's most of the world, but
the guy needed help, we should have helped.
Yeah.
We didn't.
The other question that I have, though,
I mean, if anything, we could have tried to force them to explain the situation better. I mean, granted, I don't think Drex intended to
I don't think so either.
start the fight. that
I think that was just unfortunate, but
that was kind of funny. But
I also think in cases,
once the fight started, we should.
I think also it's a learning point for him though, and for the rest of us, that in unfamiliar places maybe we shouldn't let Drex drink so much.
I don't think that's the problem. Even when Drex is drunk, I think he can hold his own.
I'm just frustrated. Nox seemed to give in to this guy so quickly, and
Nox was trying to protect us as a group. I understand what Nox was trying to do.
But yet he throws that stuff with us protecting him with Sorsha at us all the time.
Nox had good intentions. I just think we made the wrong choice then. But it's behind us now. We can't change it. It's not like we have a time wizard with us.
Oof!
Speaking of, I wonder how he's doing. Think his sisters beat some sense into him yet?
I bet he's found the Speedo by now.
How loud do you think he screamed?
I had chills.
Were they multiplying?
Is that what that package was from Krusty Games?
It's like getting your friend's email and signing them up for all of those promos.
I mean, like I said, it's
pretty bad.
it's behind us. We can't change it. We have to live with what we've got and try to make better decisions.
Yeah.
It's one reason why I questioned why we were just continuing to go north. And it was getting colder. I don't like the cold.
I also tried telling them that we should have contacted Estoyo sooner.
That was a group problem. That was a group mistake. We were just trying to get out of town.
Yeah. Oh well. I'll leave you to your tree study.
I found some nuts.
Not yours.
Why does everybody think I'm making sex jokes? I mean, I have, but
Sounds like something Theo would do.
see? And I hold up a couple of acorns.
Those could be useful later.
Maybe. I don't have druid crest.
But what if we grow the trees?
That would take longer than I have available.
But eventually. Once we get the vampire shit dealt with.
This has to go
Shut up.
away. Or you may not be traveling with me long.
I can make this into a steak.
But back when we saw the bodies, I was a little bit more interested in them than I feel like I should have been.
I had a feeling. Because you said it smelled good and there was a lot of blood. She playfully nudges your shoulder with the quarterstaff.
I do wonder if I had gone with the siren, if she would have gotten rid of it.
Huh?
Oops.
Theo!
Back at the beach, you know, when we were fighting the things attacking the village, I got an invitation.
Aya?
Yeah.
Which time?
There's a couple beaches.
There's been a few places.
He said village specifically. There's only been one village we fought on the beach at. That was Aya.
I kind of made eye contact with her.
The lady who put you in the water bubble?
Yeah, I met up with her later.
Theo!
Wow.
She was intriguing.
Theo!
Let's get it.
Why didn't you say something?
Love at first sight.
I've never
I
seen
didn't have
people of
careless
my
whisper
kind
queued up.
before. I mean, I always thought I was human.
You know you
I
can
mean,
still-
weird, but human.
Have you met the rest of us? We're all really weird.
This is true.
Yeah, but how many of you can do this? Poof.
Frozen.
Gills crossed over with frost.
Oh, that's unpleasant.
It burns.
Okay, let's not do that up here.
Lays part of the mammoth pelt over Theo.
Poor
But it's
Theo.
warm.
You just need to warm it up with your body heat first.
That was unpleasant.
Poor Theo.
Theo, why didn't you say something?
I feel it was important. You guys are more important than her.
She offered to have you come
Aw.
with her.
Yeah, but I don't know exactly what that meant, and you know, I made a commitment to you guys.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I mean, yeah, you did, but don't you think part of that commitment would also be like explaining that when you were out doing one of your swims, you ran into her again, and she offered to have you come with her?
Right, but then I'd be helping them attack villages and stuff.
That doesn't necessarily just you telling us that she
I wouldn't
offered
be a,
doesn't
wouldn't be a
necessarily
hero
mean you could
anymore.
take it.
Wouldn't be a hero anymore. No, we're part of the Hall of Heroes.
Yeah, I get that, but you still could have told us that she offered, and we could have helped you process it. Kind of why I came to talk to you about everything else is because I was
I made,
angry and confused and didn't
I
want to talk
made
about
my
it.
choice. It wasn't anything I had to process. I made my choice.
Okay. Well, I still think you should tell Nox and Drex.
I feel better. I said it. Thank you.
I don't trust that corner.
I had to. There was a comment. It was a serious moment, and I had to say it, so I just whispered it, just so I could say it, so I could move on.
Well,
I am trying out some new spells while we're here.
That was the question I wanted to ask. I didn't want to double down on spells, but
what are you trying?
Well, since there isn't like a whole lot of water around here other than the frozen shit,
Stuff.
That's water too.
whoops.
There's frozen shit around here?
I'm sure
Probably.
there is.
Probably.
I do
mean-
not doubt it.
Did you
I
see that
mean-
mammoth?
That and horses shit. A lot.
Can you imagine the size of the mammoth's shit once it got frozen over? You could mistake it for a boulder.
It probably has been mistaken for boulders.
I am going
I've
to.
never once seen you guys mistake a pile of shit for boulders.
I'm going to cast Erupting Earth.
Wow.
I'm going to cast Erupting Earth as a demonstration.
You are going to cause a panic attack over Nox's direction.
Do I hear screaming coming from the camp.
Is that the direction you're casting the spell?
Well, I'm probably not paying too much attention as to the direction. It's probably between us and the camp.
You hear, what the hell?
Sorry!
Theo? Was that you?
I'm just practicing.
That all of a sudden, like, the ground begins to vibrate slightly. You begin to immediately think that perhaps another mammoth, or two, or herd is approaching as this...
It's just Theo. It's just Theo.
Does erupting earth leave like jagged pieces of earth around?
You choose
Makes
a
it
point
difficult
on the
to read.
ground within range. A fountain of churned earth and stone erupts in a 20-foot cube centered on a point.
And it's difficult terrain unless you use actions to clear out the rubble.
Yeah, it would do 3d12 bludgeoning damage to any creature within the cube.
Erupting earth is fantastic.
Some little squirrel just...
Powdered squirrel. It's Scrat.
That's what I was thinking.
picks up the acorn, he's like,
No, he's got the acorns.
I just let go of it.
As this rabid squirrel's like shaking onto it.
That's weird.
I just kind of with the quarterstaff.
This Nox is currently having heart palpitations in camp.
That was cool, Theo. What else you got?
Well, I can do this, and I cast meld into stone. And
Theo! Theo!
hand pops up.
You also can't breathe while you're in the stone. I believe. You can't like see and or hear things, I think. And if you're in stone, I can't imagine you can breathe through it.
you can't see what occurs outside it, and yeah. Let's see. I do have a chance of hearing things, but I can't see in it.
Okay.
It doesn't do any damage to me unless I let it stay in it too long.
Alright.
As Theo begins to go on a demonstration spree of all the new things.
How much damage is going to happen to our camp?
Not to the camp, but around the camp.
Oh, the camp's gonna be
Pots,
messed
patches
up.
of rocks, random Theo-shaped holes in stones.
It's gonna be all tore up all the way around
There's
it.
a few things that happen.
I have nothing new except
Anybody else would like to do anything through the first night?
I mean,
I would just help Drax.
I
Try to
think
make it
Nox would eventually would like to have a sit down chat with Percy.
So it's mostly earth-based spells.
Yeah, but I
Will
wanted.
you bring me back a drink, Breanna?
Yeah, you want a Coke?
Whatever.
Okay,
Okay.
I just mainly wanted to double check on spells.
Oh.
But before that, I have to go. So we can do it tomorrow. You can. It's Breanna back.
Right.
correct. Do you want me to
I
make
don't
any
want
rules
to. I
for
don't want to
this with-
start this conversation and then go peace. I'll wait till after.
Yeah, I'll have you roll.
So Percy would start out by helping Drax, and then, depending on how much time that took, like towards evening, he would probably be taking out the mammoth pelt and trying to do his best to, like, probably made like a small little. I would assume Percy would know this, like, so you know when you have an animal pelt, you have to like spread it out and stretch it,
like
and then take the meat and fat off the inside of the hide. So he's probably doing that process.
Okay.
Starting on it, because I mean, I imagine the
Tanning.
chunk of pelt. Yeah, basically
Yeah.
the tanning
Yeah.
process.
So, Drex, I'll have you roll for survival Percy, while you're helping Drex, I'm gonna have you roll your Tinker's Kit proficiency.
Roll some survival.
But what skill would I use? Would it be
It's
nature,
it's-
sleight of hand?
I think. What is your Tinker's Kit?
Let me
What
see.
does that use? Tinker's Tools. Is what it's called.
I mean, I still
Tinkerers.
have water breathing because they're based off of my circle, and
Yeah.
so I always have them prepared.
It's designed to enable you to repair many mundane objects.
I
Dang it, open.
have the usual first levels.
I just got the little spin. It doesn't want to open.
Real overlap.
Except for the healing.
I haven't taken a whole lot of first level spells.
Yeah, it's just for
Let's
the only
say,
thing
because
I
I'm
want
not
to
sure.
see.
Let's just say
Here.
It
I
seems to
also-
be-
Tinker's check using dexterity modifier
I
plus
also
your
took the
proficiency.
healing, So I can get
So Dex plus
additional
proficiency.
hit points. Gust of Wind I just have, but I also have Lesser Restoration. Spiritual weapon.
It's 2 on the die. For a, what's my proficiency bonus
I
at?
did
Total of
keep
10.
some of these.
You're 20.
So, not terrible.
Mirror image, I haven't
So-
decided if I want to keep or not.
Drex, you are kind of fairly confident. You know which like pieces of bone are going to connect to one another in the form that it would be able to kind of make a whip-like motion. However, the act of being able to bind all of the components together, create like a handle, something to grip onto, things like that, that's kind of, not where your expertise are. So that's kind of where Percy comes in because he's used to messing with things like that.
Okay.
So you kind of point out to Percy what pieces like connect to what bones and like the formation. Percy, you kind of start holding that form and trying to bind everything together. And good. The first night of messing with this is
Could be defensive for me.
very overwhelming.
Um,
You do piece a few pieces together, but it's a little bit more complex than you originally thought it was going to be, and so you do make progress. However, it's a small amount. However, you made enough to know what the base is and what the formation is going to look like. Now it's just a matter of
Doing it.
putting it together.
I imagine part of it too is Percy's like, well, my Tinker's tools really aren't designed to do this kind of work. They're more like hammer and nails and screwdrivers and stuff. And boy, if we just had a strip, well, maybe if I get some of this mammoth pelt, we can use some of that for like leather binding and
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. It's
Thank you.
more complex than most things I make. So,
Just make my bone whip.
Yeah, I'm just having them do
And
roll
we
Starting
starting.
to it.
And we did the confirmed spells. Alright. Yeah. And then I want to chat with Percy. You guys can do the next day nonsense.
It's no issue.
So Percy, you begin your canning process on the
yeah, probably like as a couple small logs, like a frame, and then can tack it up and stretch it. Yeah. Probably gonna be hard because I'm frickin' mammoth pelt. He's probably
It's
doing
probably
it in
not
sections.
all of it. Yeah, it's probably just pieces.
Yeah, he's probably doing it in sections.
Because you have like 4 or 5 days to do this. I guess I'll let you roll if you want, but you don't have to. If you you can either make it go faster or completely screw it up.
No, he's probably just using it as a way to pass the time.
slow.
Yeah.
Make sure it's done right.
And he's never really done this before himself. He's probably like his dad's done it or
When
somebody
the
in
bunnies
town's done it.
When the bunnies have passed.
Yeah, and so he kind of knows what to do, but he's never really done it. So he's probably being very careful and like rethinking. Like, do you scrape the meat off first and then stretch it? No, you stretch it and then you gotta scrape. Yeah, type thing, And so I kind of look at it as, I know this isn't really a thing in D&D. It is in Pathfinder where you can do taking 20
Yeah.
Where, like, if you take 20 minutes, you just get your base modifier to a skill check.
Right.
So you can't really fail.
Yeah.
You just...
Slow process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I look at it. He's just taking his time and looking things over. And
Okay.
Sounds good.
the one thing he will do, though, the scraps that he does scrape off, he will be very diligent about collecting them and taking them far away from the camp so that anything that would be attracted by it would not come right into camp.
Okay.
Probably at least 400 or 500 yards away from camp.
Okay. So, eventually.
And then when he's done with it for the night, well, that's the only thing is he'd have to leave it stretched out overnight to stretch it. So, I mean, if you want that to be a higher chance of attracting predators, because it would. I don't know if you ever watch Mountain Men, but when that guy stretches his pelts in his little wood cabin off to the side of his house, it almost always attracts bears and wolves. So, he can smell for miles. But then when he gets done, like when he takes the stuff away from camp, he probably finds a place to sit down and leans his back against the tree and takes out the little wooden box. He just continues to look at it and just think and see if anything's changed or there's anything different, or, you know, poking and prodding and knowing that it shouldn't change at this point, but just, you know, he's a 13-year-old and he's speculating about what can be inside. You know, what if there's 1 million pieces of gold in there? What if there's a magical dagger? What if I open the box and it kills me?
All possibilities, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Roll a d20 for me.
What if it's pure necromantic, bad juju? Oh my God, Big Red's going away for the night. That was a nat 1.
Oof.
I rolled a 2 and a 1.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea to put them up.
Okay, so the lesson we've learned is Big Red only comes out during combat.
Seems like it's the only time it ever rolls good.
I feel like you learned this lesson several times. It's just
Yeah, I just keep reverting back. It's my favorite set of dice.
I mean, yeah, we're all creatures of habit.
Okay.
I mean, like me, when I have a set of dice that rolls even relatively badly, it goes away.
So, Percy
So
has...
after a while, yeah, he'll eventually, assuming within that one, after probably a good half an hour of sitting here, fumbling with it, flipping it around, staring at it, he'll probably eventually just put it in his pack, get up and trudge back to camp.
Okay. Knox, you see Percy shambling his way back into camp.
What time is it?
It's getting close to night. Late evening.
He's gonna kind of stop you halfway. Not like stop you, but kind of like approach you. Do you mind if you join me for a walk for a minute?
I just went for a walk. Okay.
One of those nights.
I just wanted to talk to you away from the others.
Okay, about what?
Nothing in particular. Anything, nothing at all. He's gonna wait till we're a bit. Like, we're still within shouting, but not like casual conversation.
Like
Kinda
Theo
like
and
how-
Kai were.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is the clear the air session.
Yes.
Not completely, but we're getting there.
Could be.
I will remind everyone, if I say anything that offends anyone, I'm playing a 13-year-old boy. It's not Troy trying to be rude, it's
I know.
playing a 13-year-old kid.
Fuck you.
Yeah. What I say is not, this is not
Right.
what Jenna feels.
Twice
Right.
a shiny metal butt.
If Kai had armor, she'd probably feel that way about a lot of you guys right now.
And it would be met with Nox's indifference. It didn't go as planned.
Doesn't seem like anything really goes as planned.
Exactly.
Are you talking about the trip into the mountains? Are you talking about what happened back in town?
All of
Are you
it.
talking... Okay.
All of it.
Are you talking about
It never is.
my life since I was 8 years old?
My life since I was 13. All of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's all relevant.
But I appreciate you bringing that opportunity to us when you came to us and who approached you. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that.
Okay.
Oh wait. You good?
Yep.
Okay.
Should have inserted a pause for edit.
Yeah, hence why I said I'll wait. Okay. Those gnolls were a part of that half mob mafia. What are we calling it?
Yes.
That okay. And from my background knowledge from over in Arcanium, that these folk are also to not be messed with. And your heart was in the right place, and that I can applaud, and that I can share. But those gnolls responded to someone who might have been their equivalency of the Matron, or their equivalency of the Widowmaker, or their equivalency of Sarsha. And fighting them, killing them, getting him out of whatever trouble that he was in with him, might have caused more of a problem than what we would have been prepared to handle. The gnolls, I do not doubt we could have taken them, but the ramifications thereafter, I do not think would have been in our best interest.
But the thing that frustrates me is you guys didn't even care. You all, every one of you said it's none of our business. When we agreed to be members of the Hall of Heroes, we made it our business. We made it our business to help those who couldn't help themselves, to protect those who couldn't protect themselves. Granted, we didn't know that guy did something wrong or not. That's all I was trying to find out. What did he do? What if these guys were after him because he took a loaf of bread to feed his kid? And he was going to die because of that. I can't stand for that.
That I get. But
I don't care if they answer to God himself, or to Solterra herself. I would have stood up to her.
I would have too, but there were also other civilians in there as well, and they do not fight with the same morals we do. There could have been significantly more other people brought into the harm's way. Was it the right decision or wrong decision? It's in the past.
Well, when my parents sent me to summer to the guild,
There we go.
uh,
You should know I of all people.
I wouldn't compromise my morals for them, for Sarsha, or the guild. And I feel like I've compromised my morals more times in the last couple months since I've known you guys than I had to for Sarsha. And you guys keep saying you can't trust me because I work for Sarsha or I'm a member of the Assassin's Guild. I've not done anything to give you any reason not to trust me. I have not stood up to anyone or fought anyone or struck anyone that didn't deserve it. So eventually you guys are either going to trust my judgment or you're not. And I guess I have to think of whether or not this is the right place for me to be if I can't be trusted.
Anything else you want to say? Feel free.
I don't know. I guess I just don't understand how we call ourselves heroes and we let a possibly innocent man to his fate, no matter who that's to. And I'm not going to stand for it anymore, and I'm just going to go into it with the understanding that you guys might have my back or you might not. But I'm not going to compromise my morals anymore.
That's fine. That's fine.
I wasn't trying to fight those gnolls. I merely wanted to understand what was going on.
I know.
And then
I know.
Drax, in his attempt to be helpful,
Praise be the next
exacerbated the situation. I didn't want to fight either if we didn't have to. But when it got to be a fight, I wasn't going to back down from those guys. And I feel like we've backed down from a lot of things lately. And that's not what heroes do.
I think that's where we need to discuss as a group what, because as a group we need to have a unified stance and belief. So when we know when we enter situations like that, where we all stand.
Right, and see, that's why I thought when you're a member of the Blades, you pretty much know anybody can stab you in the back at any time. That's why I liked being a member of the Hall of Heroes and a part of this group. But not knowing if someone's going to fight beside you or not, or what's going to happen in a fight, well, that's almost worse than knowing that someone can stab you in the back.
My stance is, when I joined this group, it wasn't because I wanted to be a hero. I really could care less about being a hero. When I joined to make sure I can keep you lot alive. Whatever that may be, whatever your goals were, whatever anyone's goals are. My sole intention is to keep y'all alive. If I become a hero by proxy, then that's fine.
But you're wearing that, so you are supposed to be a hero. You points at your... I assume you're wearing your badge.
It's not a shield, but there's a lot of people with the Hall of Heroes that are morally questionable at best. Simply because you have the title doesn't mean they all strive for the same standard.
I don't know.
But that's something we need to discuss as a group, as a whole. Where we stand. Because that's my stance. I don't fully care what we do or how we go about it, as long as everyone's alive to go back to their families.
Pardon me. Right, and I get that, but like, what about people we encounter along the way that want to go back to their families too, like that poor guy in the bar? I mean, I look at him and I see my dad. My dad could be in that situation. My dad kind of was in that situation. It's because of what I've done that he's not in that situation anymore. And that's all I'm trying to do. Like I said, heroes help those who can't help themselves, protect the weak, defend the poor.
Is that what you think heroes should be, or what heroes
That's what a
are?
hero is!
He's gonna look at you with significantly more understanding now.
And like I said, I mean, I didn't understand it. I kind of understood when we didn't want to fight a dragon. Even a wounded dragon. I can kind of get that. But a couple of gnolls in a bar? Okay. That doesn't seem like a fight we should be running from.
It wasn't the fight that I was concerned about. It was the problems that we would encounter thereafter. We don't need to have dealings with the Matron, have her angry, and have somebody else angry as well.
Why not? It seems like this whole damn world's angry right now.
That's how the world works, Percy.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying. Might as well bring it all on.
And as someone who's, again, trying to keep y'all alive, that might have been more than what we could have had the capacity of handling.
I mean, if we get in a fight with something and I die, what's the big deal? I'm gonna die anyway.
That's what we're trying
I'd
to...
rather die than this.
That's what we're trying to correct. But we don't need to add more problems to trying to correct this problem. It makes it significantly more complicated, and it adds more knots to the ball of yarn that you're trying to untangle.
I'm not trying to untangle any knots. I'm just trying to get rid of this.
Exactly. That's what we're trying to do. But the more things we do, the more people we get angry, the more it becomes knotted.
But then I go back to the fact that we're not heroes. That's why I don't have that anymore.
And we don't have to be heroes. We don't have to be anything, Percy. You don't have...
Then I guess I wonder what we're doing here. That's what got us into this in the first place.
The marks,
Mm-hmm.
trying to get them off. And after the marks are off, unless we find common ground, there's no... We can keep traveling together out of convenience, but we don't have to be anything. We can be heroes if we want to be heroes, or we don't have to be.
I guess that meant something to me. It meant something better than, I mean, you all, I don't think I have to tell you how you all reacted when you first found out who I am and what I am. I guess being a member of the Hall of Heroes made me feel like I was something better. I was using my unique set of skills for a good cause. But
This is the second reason why I wanted to talk to you, Percy. And you alone, specifically, given how you're talking.
he kind of looks around like, oh yeah, there's nobody else around.
If you look back at the camp, you see 4 Theos running around in a circle around the campfire.
That's why I wanted to talk.
What did you guess?
Mirror image.
Guys just kind of...
And all 4 of us are just wearing nothing but a Speedo.
Kai just
When
sticks
we
the
get
quarter
back to
staff
camp,
out and just kind of...
I'm going to see if Theo will do that and see how fast I can throw 4 daggers and hit all 4 of them.
Kai just kind of quietly slides her staff out at knee height.
Anyway.
Oh, that's a 10.
You probably whack your knee into it.
So there's 4 versions of me. Ow! Ow! Ow!
Anyway, how others reacted and how others have reacted with the other dealings that we Foxtrot. There's been a reason why I haven't talked much about my past. I know it might not sit well. Or sit at all. And we have something more in common than what I've truly let on.
The best thing to do is to just be honest
That's what I'm trying to
and
do,
up
Percy.
front. I mean, and it doesn't matter what somebody's done in the past. It's what they're doing now and their actions and their deeds.
That's what I'm starting to learn, Percy. You see, the Widowmaker is just a nickname. It's not his actual name.
I figured as much.
His last name is actually Windcaller, but that's significantly less intimidating.
Can you call
He farts a lot.
No, I don't think he can. I've never seen it.
I gotta put a note in here. Come on.
So farts a lot.
Yep.
So it's worth a lot. Yes.
Skyrim.
New
Your
nickname.
Collin, did we write down
For
his name? I don't have it. In my notes. I'm gonna have to look
maker
real quick.
is
Yes, I have it.
Okay, can you send it to me? Because for the life of me, I cannot remember his name.
arts. I hate how this works with the. I can't tell where I'm at. Worked.
You just need to get a working laptop to put all this stuff on.
Is it
If somebody could light a fire under Cody's butt, I would have.
guy? It begins with a G.
I think he's taking
Sir
a picture
Gawain?
of it right now, Jenna.
I know it begins with a G. I just can't remember.
Does it?
Bro, I wrote that and I have no idea how to pronounce that. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna butcher it, but continuity, here we go.
It's your character. I don't fucking know. Whatever you say, it's how it is.
Can't push your shit that nobody knows
His
how.
name,
Damn.
do you just want to spell it for me first? Gallas.
Gallus?
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 Okay.
I saw that and I'm so excited. Concert's early next year, but the album comes out in November.
Okay. That's what we're all united. Okay. His full name is actually Gallus Windcaller. Shh. Don't ruin my nerdiness, okay?
I love Skyrim, that's why I got it.
I'm incorporating it. Shh. Okay.
So if he has a name, well, you know what Cashin always said. If a man's got a name, man can die.
I know we can. Nox has been my slave man that you've known me by, that everyone's known me by. My born name is Agron Windcaller, born son of the Widowmaker.
We don't know this information.
No, but I'm writing it down so that
Continuity.
Yeah.
that and I know memories in this group aren't the best.
And I don't like to take intense notes when I'm in the middle of roleplay.
I take bullet points.
That's why we have to be on
Sometimes I do. Not very good at note taking.
So that's why I haven't shared my name much. That's why when I said I angered a lot of people in Arcanium by freeing some slaves, I pissed off a lot of people.
I get that.
And it's not that I've been ashamed of my last name, it's the affiliation that comes with it.
Right, like when I told you guys that I was a member of the Blades and everybody immediately thought that I was an asshole.
I can't imagine they would react better.
But-
Well, hey, you know, little Widowmaker dude, I'm his son. That's gonna sit well.
But the sins of the father aren't the sins of the son. I mean, just because your dad did that, that doesn't mean you did anything wrong or deserve to be punished. I'm not saying that that's how everybody would feel, but I'm pretty sure it's how the rest of us would feel. That's how I feel. I mean, I don't care. I mean, okay, everybody cares who their parents are, don't get me wrong, but, I mean, who your parents are don't mean you're good, bad, or otherwise. Your actions and deeds mean whether you're good, bad, or otherwise.
But there's still a lot that I haven't divulged past that. But it hasn't brought a good chunk of happy memories. That's also why it was a little bit more complicated with the dealings with Sarsha. The conversation with Cashin, I may or may not have been threatened should anything happen to you. My ass would also be on the line with Cashin, so...
I can talk to him about that.
You can. I'm just doing my best to try and keep you alive until then.
No, yeah, okay. I mean, I could go to Cashin and tell him that, hey, it's not Knox's responsibility to keep me alive. But I don't know when I'm going to talk to Cashin yet, so. But when I do, I'll tell him that.
Yeah.
So, how did you end up in Sandcoast? I thought you were a slave in Sandcoast.
I was a slave in Sandcoast.
Okay. That Fargo, by the way, he's an asshole.
Always the one.
I almost wish that Sarsha had told me to take him out too, but he wasn't part of the deal.
Maybe it can be part of the deal. I want to preface this. I don't have anything against Sarsha. It's just I know how my father works and how the Matron works, and just by association and bitterness. And that I'm willing to own up to. I was still in a very vengeful place when we first met.
Yeah. You seem to be a little mellower.
helped with that, Percy. You've helped with that quite
You don't
a
get
lot.
quite as mad when Theo turns into an ox and I ride him around town.
No.
Right.
And so that's why I pulled you aside, because I wanted to thank you for that too. Because I do.
You're welcome, I guess. Didn't even know I was doing it, but you're welcome.
You just being you, Percy, has made me to be a better person.
She kind of blushes and kind of looks down like, "Aw, shucks," and kicks some snow. You know, like a 13-year-old would.
There's not a rough here.
And how that happened? Well, when I was around your age, my biological mother died, and my father remarried. And due to him having another son, someone less opinionated,
Less independent?
I had significantly more free time. And you can only read so many books.
Oh, yeah. Books got their place, but they can get really boring.
They can.
Kai sneezes in camp.
So I started spending more time at the docks. I spent more time just
Doing things.
doing things. And there I met a lot of people. I met someone very important to me there as well. And together we started finding when people were disappearing. Children were going missing. But nobody really pays attention to when the dock worker's child goes missing, or when the lower class just don't show up for work.
Right. They're indispensable.
They're indispensable, yes.
Or dispensable. Yeah. You know what I mean.
I do. He ruffles your hair. I do. And so we investigated a little bit. That's how we stumbled across they were being taken against their will for slavery, or if they weren't being taken against their will and their parents were giving them over for money, for security, for food, for a job, for anything, because they were desperate. And that's how Arcanium works. And we started doing something about it.
Good for you.
And she was taken. I do not know where she is now. And when I went to my father about all of this, thinking he could do something about it, the people going missing, what was going on, what was happening, I was essentially grounded. And I was stuck inside for a little bit until I found a shipping manifest in my stepmother's study on how they could safely ship human cargo in the hull of boats to keep it balanced.
Percy gets a pissed off look. Like, not at you, but...
And so angry, I went back on the venture of stopping the slave trade, and in my blind haste fell right into a trap. And that is how I had my first and last interaction with the Matron. It was when I was bound by chains in a warehouse, stripped of my makeshift armor, personal items and effects. Of course, she had to have a spiel of being young and sticking my nose in business where it didn't belong, and yada yada yada, and I still thought perhaps maybe my father would come to my aid. I was in fact his son after all. That went out the window when I was set on fire.
Percy gets a horrified look on his face. He doesn't say anything because he's wrapped up in the story, but he's just like,
I can't feel much or do much with my right arm anymore. So I'm slowly adapting to becoming left-handed. And that is why I do not like showing my right half in viewing of eyes. And that is how I woke up, being shipped off as a slave to the gladiatorial arena.
well, if you don't remember, I know you still don't trust Sarsha, and I'm not telling you you should. But when she sent me, remember I told the story about the time beads and her sending me back? The person she sent me back, the target, the package, the objective is how we refer to it. The objective was a woman that was supposedly working with the mafia mob to get involved in the slave trade.
It's a very prevalent thing.
I strongly think that woman either is the person who became the matron or someone who was very close to the matron.
That was my fear as well.
So, to kind of bring this back around to our thing with the gnolls, not that I knew about that in the beginning, because I didn't realize those gnolls were not until you guys told me, but
That's fine.
seems like we've already got their attention anyway.
But now,
So,
if we, with this deal with Flamboyant Pants, whatever his name is, I do wish to see the matron dead above anything else.
I'll do my best to help you with that.
But in source of doing that would create a power grab, and we might have another matron, and he's offering us a alternative.
Well, what if we just filled that spot?
With who?
Us.
So
We could use that spot to do good instead of being greedy and slaves and all that kind of stuff. We could do good in the world.
back in camp, I'm standing at the fire and I'm looking over at Kai as she's doing whatever she's doing.
Probably
Kai.
sketching in my book.
Hey Kai, he's back. And I cast Summon Beast and Bob Barker appears. And I say, give her a kiss. And Bob Barker just jumps and starts licking her face.
It sits in it and trembles violently before it.
And then it's here, and I'm just getting a bath. I'm just like, you okay?
whole problem with this world is there's nobody in a position like that who has a good heart and who would like to see the world be a better place. They're all worried about themselves and greedy bastards and kind of mumble. It's like, but if we all work together and take down the Matron, then we could work together to fill that spot and maybe do some good in the world. I don't know. We'll see.
It's when you say things like that that makes me wish I was a better person.
Well, you are a good person. I mean, you said yourself, everything that's happening is because you tried to free slaves. How is that a bad thing? I mean, okay, you didn't tell me everything. I'm sure you didn't always use the best means necessary or avoid every fight, but sometimes the ends justify the means.
That's a
I mean, I didn't... You've seen what I do. I don't go up to somebody, look them eye to eye and say, "Hey man, want to fight? I'm here to kill you." If at all possible, I'll stab them in the back. But I don't do it if they don't deserve it.
I'll continue to try and be a better person.
He like pats you on the arm. Like, probably like, because you're so much taller than him, like on the forearm.
He's probably knelt down to have this conversation to you, because
Yeah.
this is a pretty serious conversation, or we found someplace somewhat
Yeah.
to sit. Because he's not going to stand here and go like this.
True. Yeah, he just pats you on the shoulder and says, maybe we'll just both work on that together. Each of us being better every day.
The two of you can become better Persians.
That was fantastic.
Pretty good.
That was
The
fantastic.
puns are supposed to come from this side of the table?
That was an awesome Percyism.
Oh my god. Okay.
And it continues.
That's why I wanted to talk to you about this first. I do trust you the most. Because you have a firmer grasp of understanding.
Being put in situations that we don't like. Against our will.
Very much so. And also...
But it doesn't mean that we can't still be us.
You're throwing my word back at me, Percy. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
If you become a bard, you can impersonate people.
Please stop! We're trying to have this
Impersonate?
Can I...
You started this.
My whole perception of this has gone away.
Remember, you started it.
It's true.
Oh.
What are you kidding? It's beautiful.
My mother was a singer. And she was the main reason why I was corrupted. Because she was the one who was teaching music and literature and ethics and, well, the future mob boss shouldn't like to sing.
Tell that to Stefano.
Why not?
Because it's not intimidating.
It's not as it was perceived.
Have you ever... You're...
I set you up for that. You're welcome.
Your dad's evidently never heard of Smash Thrash Crash Bash.
No. Or he has. But he listens to it privately.
You know, being sung to while you're being interrogated could be pretty intimidating.
Especially if it's sung badly.
No, especially if it's sung really well.
And it's really, really threatening, but it doesn't sound like it.
That's why, like, during Vietnam, that's why they blasted the heavy metal music from the helicopters when they would... Anyway.
Are you in Vietnam?
Mm-hmm.
You may call me whatever you feel comfortable with calling me. But that's how I earned the name Nox, was I looked better in the dark than I did in the light.
And he thinks about him and he just says... He takes out his harmonica and he says, how about I just call you my friend?
Cry check.
That's just a straight 11.
You are so on the fence.
The tears are there, they're threatening to fall.
Yeah, the tears are there, you see them, like they're there, and he's just like, blinking it back.
It's like that cop
Get back in there.
Big Cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
He's just gonna hug you and just say, thank you, Percy, for just being you.
Thanks, I think. You're welcome. Okay.
So about that harmonica.
Yeah, and he takes it out and he plays a really bad song. Like he gets like the first 3 or 4 notes right, but then it's like...
You guys at the campsite begin to hear very loud bursts of off-pitched noises as it's like...
Bob hears that.
It's like somebody tied 2 cats together by their
And
tails.
starts charging off in the direction of the music.
Because it's like a dog whistle?
Yep.
I'm not very good yet. I'm still working on it.
It's fun. I can give you a few pointers. I can give you
Theo?
a few pointers in private. It's all about...
Skipper.
It's all...
He'll come back.
It goes to leap at you just outside the range of the spell, and it poofs back, and it's back by the campfire.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't know it would do that.
I didn't either.
It's all about how you support your breath. It's how you can continuously...
Oh.
I pick up one of the like small twigs and I like wave it and I'm
Like sometimes when I talk really fast and I talk so fast and I...
Then you
Toss
got
it.
out of there.
Yeah.
You have to start doing that. You have to control
Okay.
how much air you
gotta get
use
one
for
of these
the
two.
notes to continue.
Oh, control. I'm not very good with control.
Hey, these two already had their conversation,
These two
so
are
we're fine now.
entertaining themselves.
I'll have to work on that.
Yeah.
But what you don't realize is that what she was sketching in her notebook is you. With a stupid funny face.
I get the twig back from Bob and I throw it towards Kai so she can catch it, but it accidentally lands in the bonfire.
Oh no.
Aww.
Oops. Well, at least he's a fake creature.
I'll try and do better next time and not let my fear rule me so much. But
That's okay.
I'll have your back, Percy.
Cashin always said a little fear is a good thing, because if you don't have a little fear, then that's when you make mistakes.
I have a lot of fear.
Maybe I need to have more fear and you need to have less.
We will make a very dangerous duo one of these days, Percy.
I think so. Now we gotta figure out what's going on with everybody else.
I'm glad we can clear the air.
Why, the air's pretty clean up here.
I'm glad we could come to an understanding with each other.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
I understand where you come from, and you now understand where I come from.
I do.
And when I said we have more in common than...
I think the whole problem is we all are gonna have to help Theo figure out where he comes from.
You know, Mommy loves
A daddy. Very, very much.
Nox is
Yeah,
gonna...
but who was the mommy and the dad?
You're a stork,
Not the
baby.
mama!
The
Yeah.
stork dropped Theo off.
That's where Nox
Box
gets confused. He's like,
Actually, it was probably a walrus. Just,
Are you part
physically,
Selkie?
Or figuratively.
I'm aquatic.
As you guys are
aquatic.
finishing up your conversations, heading back to camp.
Having a very weird conversation of Nox trying to get
There's-
him to clarify
Yes.
what he meant.
There's a moment as you get back where the 5 of you are around the fire, just kind of all sharing glances with one another.
I accidentally put Bob Barker in the fire.
As the flames wave, you
Why
see
would you do that?
It was an accident.
He was chasing a stick.
Hey, Theo.
Yeah?
That thing you did where there were like 5 of you?
4 of us.
Okay.
Me, myself, and I,
Nobody.
And you.
and you. Well, me.
Yeah, that thing.
No, I am you.
Next time you
No,
do that,
you
let
is
me
me.
know. Because I'd like to, well, my first thought was throw daggers, but then I realized I would hurt each one of you.
That
So
might be
maybe
kind of fun to
sticks,
dodge.
just so I could see like how fast I could throw that many daggers
Can we
accurately.
not do that around other people? If you want to do that,
I'm like
Off over
right in the
there.
beginning of casting the spell again.
Good.
if you do it off over there, I will not mind. I just don't want to accidentally get hit.
It'll take me some time to.
Maybe later.
It'll take me some time to craft some wooden sticks that are weigh the same as my daggers and have the same balance.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't.
That
We
will
wouldn't
work.
want to accidentally actually stab me.
Right.
That,
If you want to practice with that, I can also catch stuff.
Although I could practice my healing spells then.
we could also do that. We could also
Oh,
do
would
that.
you look at that? I've been impaled.
I could also use that as an excuse.
Josh Dad.
I could also use that as an excuse to work on my shield work some more.
As I'm laying unconscious,
Yeah.
and there's 3 daggers in me.
I mean, we're gonna be here for a few days, so we got lots of time for that kind of stuff.
But you keep passing the concentration so the spell doesn't fizzle, so Percy keeps thinking, why won't you die?
And then he actually does.
Oh. Shit.
The morbid humor of this group.
I'm really glad you didn't say penetrated.
Oh, looks like you're not Im-Percy-ius. Well, you know, he's a rogue. He's really good at impersonating people.
Impersonating?
We're gonna make you hate your name.
These shows make me feel impervious.
Im-Percy-ius.
Perseus. Wasn't Perseus the flying horse?
No, that was
No,
Pegasus.
Perseus rode Pegasus.
There we go. We got there.
I'm not gonna be your Pegasus.
So too
Why not?
I don't know how to do that yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I said it all.
I haven't seen one.
He's not just a horse. I'm a stallion, baby.
Oh God, we're gonna have to get like every kind of frickin' barding for Theo to make him look glamorous when he fights it. And then I'm gonna have to take like 2 rounds in combat
Just
to make him look pretty.
The villains will wait.
To be honest, if they saw that, I'm pretty sure their interest would be piqued and they're just like, you know
What the
what?
hell's going on here?
We'll see how
They'll
this
spend
goes."
their first 2 rounds doing their monologue.
See how this plays out.
They're doing their villain monologue and we're playing dress up.
I'm sick but curious.
Anyway, we're all around the campfire.
Is that a horse wearing a kimono?
Yeah.
Speedo underneath?
We're all around a campfire.
Unicorns are supposed to have their horns on their head.
Oh god.
Does his ass say juicy?
In rhinestone,
Of course.
it casts deflect missiles.
In Orcish, nonetheless.
It time he walks, his junk in his trunk just casts earthquakes. Like,
I have thaumaturgy. I can make it happen.
My ribs.
has his own personal bard that sits on his back.
You can tell by the way I walk.
Hey, 7th level, I gotta take another level of rogue. After that,
You'll have the bard.
might be bard.
You already know the freaking meme where it's like,
I have a song that I wrote for you. You're a bitch. Okay.
Oh man, my ribs hurt.
Instead of walking, I prance.
Gotta make sure you stay in
the tiptoe prince.
Yep.
Keep it in beat. It's all good.
Okay.
Wasn't that the horse in like, what was it, Beauty and the Beast or something?
No, it was
Tangled.
Tangled.
Okay, it was like really high and.
Yes.
Tangled.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at campfire. We set up watches.
I choose to believe all of this happened.
We're gonna set
It's
up.
canon.
It's canon.
We're gonna set up watches after we made each other roll in fits of undeniable fucking laughter. Who's taking first, second, and third? Let's
I'll
get
take
this
first.
going.
So we don't need to.
Okay.
I didn't
Here we
roll
go.
any encounters for the first night, so it'll be assumed you set up watches, but we don't
Okay.
actually have to go through the whole
One
thing.
of me can take first watch. Another one of me can take second.
I'm trying to get us back on track.
If there's 4 Theos, they can each take a watch and the rest of us can sleep all night.
Yeah, but I gotta be here all at once.
Oh.
The duplicates copy the first one.
Oh,
Otherwise,
no,
the duplicates
no,
are gonna be
oh,
sleeping
no.
along with me.
Oh no.
We'll just make them stay up.
Theo, no.
Back to our previous.
Just me, myself, and I.
to call back to our previous conversation about message and sending and scry.
I need to get my own
Now
tent.
imagine that's going on with mirror image. I will just.
And it's Theo.
I will spell that out. Is it technically a threesome if it's all the same person?
Or is it a circle jerk?
Yeah, foursome. Because there's 4 of me.
Would it be a five-some if there's one person involved and they were into it?
Strange. I don't know how I feel about this.
Unfortunately, I don't think the other 3 can actually feel things.
Anyway,
Oh, so that gets us on back on track.
moving on.
For you.
Anyway, so next
Does
morning.
mirror image require concentration? I don't believe
Alright.
it does.
No, it doesn't.
Day 2. Would anybody like to do anything?
So you could do that and unseen servant.
Shield work.
And have an extra.
You want shield work? I need a target to hit.
Hey, Percy.
Yeah.
Those daggers.
You want me to throw actual daggers?
I mean, no. Rocks would work or whatever you find. Anything not sharp.
So what he'll do is, if he can take a few minutes, he'll take a couple of his arrows or his quarrels for his bolts for his crossbow, and like cut the tips off and kind of blunt them, or maybe not cut them off, but just blunt the tips
Just kidding. Kai can join us.
so that they're like.
Say, cause like,
But then he'll.
the fuck.
Kai can
They're
join
like
us
having a
while
contest. He's
I'm
trying to
being
shoot
shit.
Nox with his
I don't
blunt
care.
arrows so they're not hurting. And then
I
he'll
was
shoot
thinking-
some at Kai.
It's like Iron Bull and Krem.
And I will.
The big stick and the
It's-
shield.
Yeah, and I'll use my shield to work on your guys' agility and stuff. So
Speed
it's a training
shield.
session.
I have another spell slot. Here he comes.
I'm gonna take 2.
Bob Burger.
I took 3 bolts off of my inventory.
He pops out,
What spell?
looks
was
at
that?
you, and walks into the fire.
That was gonna counter
Before
it.
he does that, knocks the deal down and go, Bob, here boy, here boy, here boy, here boy. Come here boy, come here boy.
I think you need to be done
Rage
with that one,
explodes.
and you need to bring a female. Because
Knocks,
maybe it'll be a little more understanding, and you can call it Ellen Barkin.
Kai Kai and Percy can use this advantage.
Or
Can use
Christina Wagulera.
Okay.
This, can use this as a way to get Nox knocked off
Wouldn't
his
it be
ass
more
'cause
like
he's
a
gonna be
basset
too
hound?
busy laughing at the dog rage.
Angela Bassett Hound?
Kai just takes her staff, swings
about
under
a-
your knees and down.
What about a barking spider named Peter Barker?
I actually have a, well, I don't. One of my kids has a dog that has a Spider-Man costume for it. His name is Peter Barker.
Yeah.
Yes!
You're doing your kids right.
I mean, and their favorite movie is Nightmare?
It depends on the child you're talking to.
Marcus's is, right?
And it also depends on his mood.
Okay.
But yes.
So yeah, training montage. And a dog rage exploding. 'Cause that's hilarious.
Kai just... Now, Percy!
And in return,
So-
he's gonna roll over and go for your kneecaps.
She just jumps.
The next couple days go by. The days are spent a little less tense than the previous.
The air hasn't been fully cleared, but...
Moods across the board, for the most part. Those who have chosen to let bygones be bygones have let.
Bygones be bygones.
Yes.
Did Drax bring any alcohol?
She'll get
Did Drax bring any alcohol with him?
Drax always has alcohol.
Well, I was gonna say, if not, is he going into the DTs?
His intelligence is
Oh.
starting to go back up.
He's been shaking the last couple of nights because he hasn't had a drink.
I still need to find that damn endless decanter of rum.
We will find out for you, my friend.
There's so many things that I want.
So
Instead of a decanter of endless water, it's a
Oh, that's-
decanter of endless
yeah,
rum.
we'll go ahead and we'll stop here for tonight because it is about 8:40, and we will pick up next week on the morning of the 4th day.
Okay. So on the 23rd.
Yes.
And how do you want me to go with my whip?
Yeah, go ahead and roll. Actually, Percy, roll your tinkers again with advantage as Drex will assist you.
18.
Okay. And then go ahead and do it again.
You can just cut
That'll
up.
be day 2. This will be day 3.
Ooh, that's a 27.
Those Percy puns still get me.
It is
Imperceable?
coming along very, very well.
Those
After
Percy
getting
puns
the
are I'm
base
still
work done,
reeling
it's
from the
mainly just
aftershocks. Just
getting the right materials and everything for it to like stick,
instead
and
of
then testing it,
inconceivable, it's
like actually
imperceivable.
cracking it and making sure it can hit things without immediately exploding because it's still bone.
He's the Persian of
You use
vacation.
various bits of magic to kind of harden it a little bit to make it so that it can withstand some of these cracks a little bit more. The actual weapon itself is complete now. It probably just needs just one more good night of testing and messing with to get it actually like fully sealed in combat. So it is basically done. It's like 90% of the way there. You're just fine tuning it at this point. I'll just kind of remember where that's at for next time.
oh no, as if he has a notebook and a pencil, but he hardly